Okay, here we're going to look at the gastrointestinal, often abbreviated GI tract, also known as the digestive tract. Now when we're talking about the GI tract or the gastrointestinal tract, we're looking at basically a tube. And that tube has a lot of layers to it. You can see a lot of veins, a lot of arteries, and a lot of layers to it. So we're going to look at some of what occurs in this digestive tract. So starting with the basic overview of the GI tract, you can see our necessary organs and basically what each is contributing to the process of digestion. You can see it begins in the mouth, works its way down through the entire GI tract, ultimately exiting out the anus at the very end. Now, some very important steps that do occur here. You're welcome to pause this video and take a look at some of the summaries of the particular points of the digestive tract. Continuing on, we have actions of the GI tract. So what's in general occurring? We just saw there what's occurring at very specific locations, but in general what's occurring. Well, first off, we have the ingestion process. This occurs when materials entering the mouth. Here we see the horse eating the grass. This is the ingestion part. You have to have it first enter that GI tract. Then there's the mechanical processing. This is the crushing, tearing, we see here with the giraffe, and it's basically making the materials a little smaller and easier to move throughout the GI tract. Then we move on to the actual digestion process. This is the breakdown of food into small organic components for absorption. Keep in mind, digestion is not the same as absorption. We're just having this initial kind of breaking apart. This typically occurs in the stomach and also the intestines. Moving on, we have secretions, which are release of water, acids, buffers, enzymes, and salts in the epithelium of the GI tract and glandular organs. What does that mean? Well, in order for this process of digestion to occur, in order for this breakdown to occur, enzymes have to be released. They have to be secreted at certain points. Based on the pH of different points of our GI tract, that will determine what enzymes are released where. Then we have absorption. This is movement of organic substances, electrolytes, vitamins, water across the digestive epithelium, because if the nutrients only stayed in our digestive system and didn't get to our actual blood system and into our body, there would be no point. So we need to have that very important absorption phase. And lastly, removal of waste. We have the excretion phase, and that's where we're just removing bodily fluids. Now, as a general summary of kind of our digestive system, it is a tube within a tube. You're basically one long tube with openings at both ends. You say, sorry, because that's basically all it is. There's a distinctive path that it takes, and you can see there's different things that happen to it, of course, along that path, but simply it enters one point, mechanical and chemical processes occur throughout, and it exits out the other end. So you're a tube within a tube. The histology structure of the GI tract, you can see here a little bit more detail, a zoom in of the different layers involved and how there's this intense network of our arteries and our veins and our different types of tissues, allowing food to easily pass through, and also for not only the digestive process to occur, but also that very important absorption process. That digestion, it's water absorption also, as we see the same image again here. Cells cannot actively absorb or secrete water. All movement of water across the lining of the digestive tract involves down or up osmotic gradients. And remember, osmosis is simply that movement of water. And that is why the body is so important at regulating different ion concentrations to determine whether water will move into or away from certain areas. And we can see here some of the secretions that are occurring in the estimated volume of that water. With the digestive endocrine system, there's hormones. Cholecystokinin play important roles in the digestive process. You can see all of these many different hormones and released at different points because there's also different pH and different breakdowns occurring at different parts of the digestive system. Hormones play vital roles in several bodily functions and processes, as do certain enzymes. Lastly, we have the microbial communities and physiological gradients along the mammalian GI tract. You can see here in the stomach, the duodenum, jejunum, ileum, and colon rectum, what our microbe load is. And this is in scientific notation. Some of the actual bacteria that are living in different regions, and also the oxygen concentration and pH. So keep in mind, out of the stomach, the pH is very low, very minimum, and as we work our way through, the pH will actually increase or raise ultimately to neutral and actually slightly basic. Bile acids will decrease as you work our way through, so on and so forth. So it just gives you that idea. While it is just one long tube, there are very specific and certain processes occurring at different regions to maximize the digestive and also the absorption process for the body.